I guess this will be the inaugural game for our new channel, Droll for Initiative. Thank you, Tyler, for coming up with that lovely name. And name of the game is going to be Deadlands, a game about rooting, possibly tooting, cowboys and cow ladies.
Please don't say tooting.
All the tooting, just hard, violent tooting across the American frontier. It's not a standard Western, though. There's going to be magic. It's going to be fun. I guess we'll start off. I am the GM of the game. My name is Chase Lawrence. I've been playing these kinds of things most of my adult life. I guess we'll go with the lady. Lady, talk.
Well, thank you. Sarah, I've been playing tabletop games for, I don't know, probably about like 18-ish years at this point, maybe something like that. But mostly D&D until I played in your Hunter game about 2 years ago. So, and yeah, here for it.
All right, Samuel, go on and go.
Yeah, I'm Samuel. I've been playing tabletop games for not that long, actually. It's probably only like my 4th campaign, so just a few years. So I was also part of the Hunter games. But yeah, I'm getting ready to get some shooting in.
And finally, well, of course, we will use Tyler, who, good choice of the background.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Devil's Tower.
Ooh.
With Storm Brewing. Yeah. So yeah, my name is Tyler. Known Chase for many years. I guess if I had to pick my first tabletop experience that I can remember, it would be the original Hero Quest back in the day. Cannot tell you how many countless hours I played that. Started playing D&D 2nd edition in high school. So I guess you could say it was my first real tabletop RPG experience. Was hooked on it ever since. Through the years, I've played everything from Shadowrun, various World of Darkness titles. I've recently started getting involved with a lot of Free Leagues publishing. Back the recent Blade Runner Kickstarter, I've been working on that, and I'm also working on material for their Alien RPG. So stay tuned. We will eventually have content for that on the channel. Definitely doing a quality over quantity type deal. So no date yet on when I've got that. But if you do want to check out, I have already posted some test openings ideas for the Blade Runner campaign that I'm working on. So happy to be here. Yeah. Always a big fan of Westerns. Never played anything Deadlands, but read all the Dark Tower series, so I kind of have a rough idea of how we can mix Western and weird dark-ass magic into stuff. So,
well, the good news is I'm basically just going to be doing Blood Meridian, so it's going to be extremely violent. It's going to be very hard to parse, but extremely hard to parse.
Very politically not correct. We're going to scalp, some people. Just get ready.
trees full of dead babies. But as Tower has mentioned, and I mentioned, this is Deadlands. It uses the Savage Worlds system. This is the first time I've played it, but I have high hopes, in so much as that I even recently got the Pathfinder version of it, which is basically, hey, you want to play Dungeons and Dragons with a system that is nothing like Dungeons and Dragons. The system it's much more of an emphasis on role playing and like kind of fun, kind of pulp adventure-y kind of feel, as y'all will see. Well, should have your dice. The only other things I can think of is if you got like a piece of paper on you, the game does use something called, nicely done, hearts.
Well, that's it. That's it. I don't love you.
You might have seen in the book, it keeps mentioning things called bennies. Now, because I was all high speed and got that box set way back in the day, the bennies it comes with are poker chips. You can use anything. If you guys just want to tear off like 3 little scraps of paper and just set them next to you. But every session, everybody starts with 3. Feel free to use them. Don't feel like you got to hoard these. It's my job to give them out to you as well. But no matter what, unless you have certain edges or abilities, you're always going to start off every single session with at least 3 bennies.
Okay.
And just a real quick summation on a few things. Bennies are basically like the real in-game currency and how you get to do a lot of your cool stuff. A couple of you have the ability to use magic, and that's great. But bennies, you player characters get to use those. Here's what you can use them for. Reroll any kind of trait roll. So like, let's say you get something, you're like, oh, I need to roll a 4. I rolled a 2. You know what? I'm cashing in a Benny, and you get to re-roll it again. Pick the better of the 2. You are shaken. That's like your first level of damage. Basically, if you're shaken, you're just kind of spooked. All you can do is free actions like shout and move, and that's pretty much it. That's an insta recover from it. You also use them to soak damage. This game is a little dangerous, but bennies are what mitigates a lot of that. You spend these to make a roll to see if you can kind of mitigate some of that damage. For you magic users, you can spend one of these to instantly regain 5 power points. I refuse to call it PP. But yeah, let's say like, your resources are kind of tapped for the day. You can spend one of these and instantly get 5 of them right there. The other thing is maybe underline, all caps, asterisk next to it, influence the overall story. This is pretty much a case-by-case basis. If you guys have a thing and you're like, you know what if this kind of thing happens first? Shoot your shot, run it by me. I will, if I like it, I'll be like, yeah, but it's going to cost a Benny. If it's something severe, it might cost more. The other thing I need to do is get my deck of cards, which here I am super organized except for the one thing. But I'll talk. Can you guys hear me while I'm talking?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can.
Okay. The other thing is this game, all of the Savage Worlds games, here we are, unlike other systems, use a standard deck of cards for initiative. And in Tyler's case, which we'll get to in a minute, other things. But yeah, that's pretty much the crux of the system. Yeah. So how about we go around the table, so to speak, a little bit, and we'll start with Tyler. Tyler, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so my fellow's name is Hector Johnson. He is 48 years old. He is a military veteran of the American Civil War. He fought on the Union side, worked in the cavalry. He has since then now become a rancher out in Idaho. I'm playing him as a huckster. The rough background that I can give, because I am also still kind of working on his narrative arc, is that some shit happened during the war. Like he basically made a pact with a Manitou, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chase, are essentially like devils, demons in this world.
Yeah, bad spirits. They're basically running all kinds of muck.
Mm-hmm. This little deity calls himself Chap. He appears to Hector one of a couple ways, typically as an old slave hunter that Hector remembers from deep into his past. Sometimes he also portrays himself as officers that Hector served with that, for one reason or another, which again we'll expound upon maybe with the lore, Hector feels like he's responsible for their death, them being maimed, them becoming alcoholics, something bad happening that Hector feels guilt on, which is why Chap, again as he calls himself, he preys upon, devil and all that. He runs, like right now, I don't know if this is par for the course, like his hindrances he's running is he's cursed. That's attached to the fact that, Chap is following wherever he can go. And he also has a major hindrance of talisman, which is attached to a certain deck of cards that he has. Much like with other hucksters, that's essentially their little totem that they use to evoke magic. But for Hector in general, there's a bit more of a heavy weight to that regarding the first time he actually played a game with Chap and became a huckster. So Describing him again, he's about 6'1". He looks like a rancher, so he's not like bulging physique, but he looks like a guy who works the land. Big full beard, salt and pepper. He wears garb if you would like imagine a rancher in Idaho. He's got a dark olive green like duster, a hat similar to mine, boots, burgundy bandana. He's got an Appaloosa horse named Bear. That's like his go-to. Pretty much goes everywhere with, again, tools of the trade, big old Bowie knife. He's equipped with a Colt Frontier revolver and then a Winchester 73 rifle, which he calls the Swan Special, which is named after the Swan Valley, where his ranch is located in Idaho, which is a real place too, if you want to Google it. It's gorgeous. I've gone through there. But that's my little 411 on Mr. Hector Johnson, the huckster.
All right. I guess next we will do Sam. Let's hear a little bit about your character.
All right. My character is Wyatt Grissom. He is a blessed character archetype. Wyatt is a man in his mid-50s, and it's clear that he's been ridden hard and put up wet most of his life. He wears pretty much all black top to bottom, cuffs, cuffed hands, or not cuffed hands, but like collared cuff shirts, kind of black bandana around his neck, but it's almost not black anymore. It's so old and worn.
It's almost a light gray at this point.
Exactly. Like if he opens up the coat, then you can see that it was actually once black. Yeah, he has not gone to the max in quite some time. He is a wanderer. He has no horse, just a rucksack, a shotgun called Heaven Knocker that he only uses on very special occasions. And he's kind of got a dark past that has made him turn to, trying to dispel the world from, the evils that people don't believe exist. He's had an encounter that makes it, very obvious and painfully obvious that it does exist. And he's doing everything in his ability, God-given or not, to expel them.
All right. I guess that leaves us with Sarah. Who do we see in the mist?
In the mist.
Emerging from the mist.
I don't like the mist. All right. So my gal is Adelaide Cooper, Addie for short. She's about 27. Originally, she's from a farming family in Virginia. And sort of long story short, like they had plans for her that she just wasn't into. So she decided to move out west and ended up becoming a U.S. Marshal deputy. So
hell of a career change there.
Yeah, from probably to be married off to somebody and then deciding, no, I'd rather do my own thing, thanks. So I'm going to be the non-magic user here. I just I'm equipped with a badge that gives me some persuasion and intimidation, and she's very curious. She's kind of a trouble magnet, so when things go bad, they tend to go like even worse. And I've got a Colt Army and then a Winchester 76, just called Winnie. And a Bowie knife and a lot of gear. I do have a cursed horse named Frisco. I got him for cheap. I don't know what exactly he's cursed and in what way, but he's deeply, deeply cursed, and presumably we're gonna figure out what that means. He's a real son of a bitch, Frisco.
So
them government issued horses. Don't know.
I guess the only other things is some things I remember from way back when we first tried to get this off the ground, and then all of my life ended up happening. A couple of things I do remember. We had decided that Addie does not, at least yet, know that two of y'all is magic.
Is magic. That
is magic. Oh, pause on just a second.
You are's magician.
Oh God, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Stamp approval for Addie.
Thank you.
Yeah, you use is magical. I guess everything else will just kind of let that happen when it happens. Tee-hee.
I mean, to add to that, I mean, my thought with Hector is like he has no idea. I mean, he doesn't call himself so much like a huckster, like because he's purposely like so he doesn't realize there's like a class of people that have been imbued to do the things that he can do. Hence why he's like fled off to the middle of nowhere. Him being a rancher, like he has heard like the term used of guys called hucksters that somehow just pull some weird, crazy shit, and they're always usually card sharks in some way. But that's the extent. Like he doesn't know that there is this complete underworld of magic other than this one devil that just won't leave him alone.
Well, that, and considering that, even though this is alt history, I mean, it's still hews fairly close to real history in a lot of ways. I imagine, you being black, you're probably not going to, have a lot of friends who want to talk about much of anything to you, unless they're either trying to take advantage of you or, they're also black people trying to talk, that kind of thing.
So I want to put that important disclaimer out for anyone that watches. I'm absolutely going to play this character in as best good faith as possible. Privilege acknowledged. So that's just out there. Yeah, that's the best I can say on this. I'm not playing this character as a novelty, and if I am somehow skewed in some historical fact or another, as Chase pointed out, one, this is alternate history. But even to that end, I'm going to try to respect the background of where we are in the country we're in as I'm playing this character. So that's me putting that disclaimer out.
And I guess
the comments section.
Yeah, and I guess this might as well be as good a spot for any of that kind of stuff. I'm not really going I'm not comfortable with dropping racial slurs and stuff like that, even if it's an act. I'd rather not, so I'm not going to.
I think you're speaking for all of us on that, Chase.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to do it Quentin Tarantino style. We're just laying them on thick to really get you immersed.
I think we should also let the audience at home know literally every single one of us is from the deep Appalachian North Georgia.
The whitest place anyone's ever been.
We are fully aware of the extent of how shitty white people can be to anyone who is, well, not even just white, but white and not Christian. So it is not lost on us.
Yeah, and now that being said, if it comes up, I mean, I'm going to lean into prejudices, but at the same time, I'm not going to I'm not comfortable dropping. I don't care if it's just, they would say that in the historical time. I was like, well, I don't want to, so there's that.
I won't say it in a rap song, so I won't say it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Not my word.
I could say it too.
Yeah, So I guess on the other thing, if there, I guess it's as good a time as any to lay the ground rules. If there's any reason that it starts, I mean, we're all adults. We've known each other forever for the most part. If there's anything that's going on and any of y'all are uncool with it, don't be afraid to pipe up. We can wrap that out. I can, we'll pause it. We'll take a little breather. I'll rejigger some stuff, kind of figure out where to take it from there, and we'll just fix it in post, so to speak. But don't be afraid to speak up and be like, yeah, that ain't really cool. I guess also, it's good that y'all kind of said, hey, we're not really cool doing that kind of stuff either. That's good, because I don't think I'm necessarily going to tolerate that kind of thing. I don't expect that from any of you three. Honestly, I'd be a little.
You would hope that would go without saying, right? But
yeah, I mean, yeah, but that being said, if we put it all on Front Street, there it is. I guess the general overall tone will be basically something along the lines of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly meets Evil Dead, kind of the game's silly. If you thumb through the book for half a second, especially through the bestiary, it's silly. It knows it's silly, which is a shame. If I was in high school, I would have played this game completely straight-faced, and I feel it would have been fun, but it would have missed some of the magic.
Yeah.